Greetings everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm your host Captain Ryan. Today's YouTube video has got me back in my Fletcher, doing, well, what I do best in the Fletcher, which is kicking ass and taking names, supporting my team, and earning all the XP. The battle is Domination Match Mode. Can't remember the name of the map, but Domination Match Mode, and I have stipulated that I'm going to A. Now, I'm going to be particularly quiet in this chat for a couple of good reasons, and if you can look up there on the side of the screen, the chat pops up. I do have something in there. I, at this point, have been having terrible battles over the last 2 weeks. And this particular Fletcher match followed a Fletcher match where I managed to do 158,000 damage and managed to do 4 kills. And unfortunately, missed out on a Kraken Unleashed because RNGesus was trolling me and I was unable to secure a kill on a cruiser that had 140 health left. It was also frustrating to realize that there was a player who was pink who had sailed around the entire edge of the map doing absolutely nothing the entire match. And unfortunately, he was the last player alive. And while he did actually manage to hit something at the end of the game and kill something, that was all he did. So I was incredibly frustrated going into this matchup, but that's not going to change the fact that I'm going to give it my all and continue to play hard. Now, I popped my smoke screen here because I was detected by an enemy destroyer that popped out. Unfortunately for me, I drifted out of the cap circle there, so all of those cap points that I had, gone. Have to restart capping this location. Now I get torpedoes off. I'm hoping that they'll hit that Mogami back down there. There are the torpedoes that I was concerned would probably be coming from that destroyer. And as I suspected, I did not hit the Mogami, which is a little disappointing. But that Mogami, he's got himself in a very bad situation. He's pretty much getting pounded on by everything. However, I do manage to hit the destroyer who spotted me in the first place and take him out with a first blood, which is always a wonderful and lovely thing. I get my engine boost up here, mostly because I want to get moving quickly. There's another smoke screen that's popped up over here, and there's actually a few other destroyers, or there's one other destroyer in this battle, and that's the Gearing, and I don't want to be sitting in smoke screen as his torpedoes come sailing in. Enemy Iowa up here. He looks like he's starting to slow down or back up, so I go ahead and I fire one shot off on the lead indicator in case he continues his present course, and I fire one back behind in case he decides he's going to turn around. And I'm getting my ship turned back around, and I'm going to head back towards where my cruisers are, because there's the possibility that whatever's in that smoke screen could be big and nasty, and I don't want to go get too close to it and have that smokescreen dissipate. Enemy Gearing pops up and he is headed straight to the A cap point. And for the most part, it looks like the entirety of the enemy team is headed up to A. Our team does manage to lose a cruiser, but enemy team has lost a cruiser along with the destroyer. So we are currently in the lead as we've had 2 of the cap points. Managed to land a torpedo home on that Iowa as I open up on this Gearing with my shots here. And the Gearing didn't seem particularly interested in actually returning fire, and this is one of the examples of the types of players I've had on my team. Tier 10 don't seem to be playing very well. Don't know why, it just ends up being the case. I have detected through radar or hydro. I get a set of torpedoes off where that Gearing is, and I've decided I'm going to try and get a second set of torpedoes off here. And some of those are actually angled or on the lead indicator for the battleship that's behind that gearing. So I don't know if I'm going to actually hit that gearing or not. It would be nice, but torpedoes out, maybe I'll hit something. Their enemy cruiser pops up, and definitely don't need to be being shot at by that guy. It would certainly be a problem. Now, looking at the situation, we have one of our Harboroffs who is still up here, but he is taking a lot of fire in from that British cruiser, and that could be a serious problem for him. We also have this friendly battleship up here who's taking a lot of fire in from everything else. I do have a smoke screen up as our friendly destroyer gets taken out of the game. All of the torpedoes that I fired off in the distance there did manage to miss those battleships, so a little disappointing. Friendly battleship's going to go try to hide behind this island, but that's not really going to do much for him, as some of these cruisers and destroyers can just lob shells over the island given how much berth he's giving it. Torpedoes are almost up here, so I'm going to go ahead and try and get a set off here. One set off towards one ship in the background. I know that wasn't the destroyer I was aiming at, but it was the Des Moines that I was aiming at. And one set of torpedoes off towards the battleship that's pushing up the side there. And if I could get lucky enough to hit both of those, that would just be fantastic. Battleship here has pushed up. Obviously, he's still got line of sight towards a bunch of things, so pretty much everything is going to be shooting at him. It looks like my torpedoes are going to manage to miss that cruiser. It's a little disappointing, but he is bow on, so that was kind of a long shot. The cruiser behind him, though, sees those torpedoes, and he's actually paying attention, so he turns hard and avoids taking any of my torpedoes as well, which is really disappointing. But can't get them all. Do manage to land a torpedo hit on that Iowa, but it didn't cause flooding, so only get the damage, and of course it hits him dead center in his torpedo protection. Not max damage. Laying a smokescreen for the friendly battleship here because, again, I know that he's trying to get behind this island, but he's also still in line of sight for several ships, specifically ships like the Des Moines that can just lob shots over that island and harass him. At least in this respect, he can just stay back there. The enemy team can't see him anymore, and he can lay and wait for pretty much anything that comes around that island. And the entirety of the enemy team has effectively gone up to A, and they really did want it. So they're going to continue to push now at this point and try to reclaim B, which my team has managed to take from them. Now I'm detected again by radar, which is really annoying, but fortunately for me, most of what can shoot at me is blocked by an island, and I'm actually going to push back up here behind the island here, so not a lot can shoot at me. First set of torpedoes off there at one of the battleships. It doesn't look like I've managed to hit him. That's really disappointing. He does take shots at me, though, with his secondaries and his main guns. Still being detected, but I am well behind that island at this point, so there's not a lot that can shoot at me. Torpedoes there do look like they might be looking good on that Iowa, and that would be just fantastic if I could take him out of the game. I've already done a substantial amount of damage at this point, which damage is always a good thing, and my team is up on points, so I can afford to turn around and just kind of get stuck in here, take some more risks, and pursue these kills. Friendly battleship is pushing out of the smokescreen. He is kind of in a bad position here. He's got pretty much the entirety of all of the team shooting at him. I did manage to hit that Iowa with a torpedo, but it was only one torpedo and it wasn't enough to kill him. Friendly battleship here manages to take out that Iowa. A little disappointing I didn't get the kill on that, but hey, one dead enemy is one dead enemy, and of course our battleship is still in the game. I have one set of torpedoes up, fire them off. There's a whole cluster of enemy ships, including the enemy gearing, as well as a Baltimore along with the battleships. And it would be great if I could take something out or cause some significant damage. Second set of torpedoes up there. The Baltimore turns hard to avoid those, but the Iowa looks like he might take one or two. And then no, the gearing manages to step in front, trying to save his battleship, and he takes one. So I managed to kill the pesky gearing, and that marks both of the destroyers on the enemy team as my kills. Pop my smoke tree, and unfortunately, friendly battleship, he's a little too far away for me, and he's pretty much almost dead, so wasting my smoke screen on him would be pointless. That Baltimore is giving broadside, so I'm going to go ahead and continue shooting at him as my torpedoes manage to find their mark on one of those battleships. Now, as the Baltimore turns bow on, I'm switching back over to the high explosive, trying to set him on fire, but I need to whittle this guy down before he gets too close. He's going back to broadside, and I'm going to go ahead and pump armor-piercing rounds into him because they will do a lot of damage, and with any luck, they'll actually citadel him. But now, the question is, can I kill him before I take too much damage? Yes, I do manage to take out the cruiser, and then there's a brand new French cruiser who's pushing up, and this could be a bit of a problem. I still have armor-piercing loaded. That cruiser is maneuvering pretty heavily, but I've got a set of torpedoes up, and actually, I've got a second set of torpedoes up in not too long. Come on, can I kill him? No! Don't actually manage to finish him off as my team wins on points. The enemy team lost that battle. I did 135,900 plus damage, almost 136,000 damage, 561,000 credits there, and just shy of 10,000 XP. Only 3 kills, though. A little bit disappointing on that. Wasn't able to get a Kraken or Confederate or a high caliber, but overall, a very good, very fast game. Top of the team for XP earned there, well over 2,000 base XP. Anyway, that's it for today's video, folks. If you liked the video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment down below. If you'd like to get semi-regular channel news and updates, you can do so by liking and following my Facebook page. If you'd like to help support me and my channel, as well as gain early access to some of my World Warship replays, you can do so by becoming my supporter on Patreon. Any support level will grant you access to those files, among other perks, depending on the level that you choose. If you've got a World of Warships replay that you'd like to see on my channel, you can send it to my email. And if you'd like to watch me play World of Warships or other games like Armored Warfare and possibly in the future Ghost Recon Wildlands or other stuff, you can do so by liking and following me on Twitch. You can find the links for all of those in the video description down below. And as always, I'll see you next time. This is Captain Rye, signing off.